What's up everyone, welcome to Ashley Talks Movies. Today's video is a review of Alien Romulus, the newest entry in the Aliens franchise. This one is directed by Fede Alvarez, whose directing credits include 2013's Evil Dead and 2016's Don't Breathe. Alien Romulus follows Rain, a young woman who is sick of living in a Weyland-Yutani mining colony where the sun literally never shines. When her friends find an abandoned space station, Rain and her adopted brother Andy join the group to scavenge equipment that will help them travel to a better life away from the mines. But the group soon find themselves face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Before I jump into the review, a quick plug. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with all the videos I post here on the channel. Alien Romulus, another Alien movie. I have a love-hate relationship with this franchise. The first two movies, Alien and Aliens, are two of my favorite movies. I think they're so well done, and I revisited them recently and they still hold up very well. Just really great sci-fi horror movies. Then you get to the sequels and the prequels and spin-offs within this franchise, and they're kind of a mixed bag, you know? Some of them are really good, some of them are not so great. And so anytime there's a new Alien movie, I always come into it with a little bit of skepticism. It's exactly what I did with Alien Romulus because, you know, the first thing I ask is, what is this movie going to do with the story? You know, is it going to fit in with the franchise? And is it going to do the franchise justice? And I think for the most part, after watching Alien Romulus, I think it does a pretty good job in justifying its existence. What I like about Alien Romulus is how it manages to feel very much like an Alien movie. Even from the very beginning, the opening shot of this movie, it seems to harken back to the first Alien. And I think it did a really good job of kind of presenting itself structurally as an Alien movie. And it also looks like an Alien movie. When you look at the set pieces, I mean, you can tell that a lot of care was taken into making sure this movie looked very similar to the previous movies. The spaceship, the mining colony, the rooms within the spaceship, even the costumes that the characters are wearing, they all feel very much like they come from the first two movies. Now, this movie is actually set between 1979's Alien and 1986's Alien, so it makes sense that it was really honing in on those two movies to kind of recapture the look and feel and tone. I also like that Fede Alvarez used a lot of practical effects in this movie. You know, given that technology is so advanced now, it's so easy for a director to rely so heavily on CGI, and you see that often with a lot of movies like this. Things feel real, they feel tangible, which allows the movie to really feel, you know, suspenseful and to allow the tension in so many of these scenes because you feel like there's a real danger because things look real. I also think the cast is really good in this movie. You know, you have a young, up-and-coming group of actors in this movie, and I think they all did a great job with their characters. Two standouts for me, though, were Cailee Spaeny, who plays Rain, and David Jonsson, who plays Andy. Now, Spaeny, to her credit, does a really great job of not playing her character like Ripley 2.0. It would be so easy for her to do that because of how this movie is structured. Again, so much of it harkens back to the other two movies, and her character could easily be a stand-in for Ripley, but thankfully she does not play the character that way. And her character, Rain, is very interesting. You know, she has her own motivations. She's a very likable character, and, you know, you sympathize with her in her initial goal and also for her trying to survive, you know, this dangerous situation that she's in. Also, you know, David Jonsson, he plays Andy, and he is really, really good in this movie, considering the type of character that he is playing. He has layers to his performance, and thankfully the script allows him to do a lot with this character in terms of the little twists and shifts that happen with this character, and he does such a great job with his performance. Now, as far as what didn't work, and, you know, unfortunately, I liked so much about this movie. I really did. And then there were things that really started to make this movie fall apart. Now, not enough for me to hate this movie, because I still really did enjoy it, but enough for me to point out. One of the things that didn't work for me, although I have been talking so much about how much this movie does feel like an Alien movie and how it does have these references to the first two movies and even some of the other movies within the franchise, part of the problem with this movie is that it relies too much on those references and callbacks. There's so many moments in this movie where these references to either Alien or aliens feel so forced. There's a moment in this movie where a character says a line. It's a very famous line from the Alien franchise. And although I love that line, and I think it's such a cool line, it didn't really fit with the scene in which it was said. And so it just kind of takes you out of the moment. Also, there's some shots in this movie that seem like they're recreations of shots from the other movies in the franchise. And that was really the issue for me. It's like, yes, I want it to feel like an Alien movie. I want it to look like an Alien movie, but I don't need it to be a recreated Alien movie, if that makes sense. Another thing that didn't work for me, and people might be divided on this, is the final act. Like I said, I was pretty much enjoying this movie and with this movie, and then it got to the final act, which is just, for lack of a better word, bonkers. It kind of goes in directions that I wasn't really expecting, and also some directions that I didn't really quite like, considering it's an Alien movie. Again, it wasn't enough to make me hate this movie. Like I said, I did really enjoy it. But yeah, the final act is it's just odd. I also want to mention a part of this movie that has stirred up a bit of controversy. I'm not going into the details of the controversy because, again, there might be people who are watching this video who have not yet seen Alien Romulus, and I don't do spoilers. But I will say this. There's use of CGI in this movie that, again, has caused some controversy. And I'm not going to delve into the ethics or, feelings on that. But what I will say is this particular kind of use of CGI and AI has been used in other movies in recent years and for similar purposes. And it doesn't work. The technology is not there to use the CGI in this way. And every time it's used in a movie, it's just really distracting because it's so bad. It's supposed to look realistic, and it doesn't. Like, the whole purpose of using this particular kind of CGI in this way is to make it look realistic, and it doesn't look realistic. It just looks weird. And so you get into this uncanny valley territory with this. And like I said, it's very distracting. So every time it was on screen, I was just sort of taken out of the experience of the movie because I was just distracted by the CGI in that. Overall, I did really enjoy Alien Romulus. I had a few nitpicks with the movie, but despite my problems with it, I still really enjoyed it, and I still think it's a very strong entry in the franchise. I would rank it pretty high among the sequels and prequels. Alien and Aliens obviously still being the top two, but I think Alien Romulus did a really good job of still feeling very much like an Aliens movie. Again, I think it does over-rely on nostalgia and the callbacks, and I do think it gets a little strange with the ending. Like, it doesn't quite know what it wanted to do, but also it wanted to try to do something completely different that kind of takes it out of the Alien franchise. But it still is a very, very well-made movie with a good cast and, interesting story and some fantastic, fantastic set pieces. So those are my thoughts on Alien Romulus. Share your thoughts about the movie in the comments below, and also make sure you like this video and subscribe to see more content like this.